She does not fear loneliness. She fears becoming invisible. You feel this every time attention warms up, then suddenly cools. She flirts, pulls close, then tests you with silence, jabs, or drama. You try to fix it by talking more, proving more, chasing more. The harder you try, the faster the attraction slips. You walk confused, thinking you said something wrong when the problem was energy. You collapsed. She felt it. Here is truth most men miss. Her fear is loss of relevance. When she senses her shine fading, she will push to see if your frame can hold. If you argue, explain, or beg, you confirm fear. If you contain, you become the rare man who calms it. Today I will show you how to read those signals without anger, how to answer tests with steady presence, and how to lead with rules that earn respect. We will map the behavior patterns no one names, then give you a field routine for work, social settings, and text. No games, no resentment. Stoic control, clear boundaries and timing that lets curiosity grow. If you have ever felt like you were doing everything right, yet still losing ground, this will feel like turning on the lights in a dark room. Watch to the end, because one small shift can change the entire dynamic this week for you. Let's get into it. Number 1. The fear she'll never admit. Every man thinks women fear loneliness. They don't. The truth runs deeper. The fear that keeps her awake at night isn't being alone. It's becoming invisible, losing the power to attract, to be wanted, to matter. It's the quiet panic that one day no one will look twice. That fear hides behind confidence, smiles, and control, but it's always there. You can see it if you know what to look for. The way she changes her tone when you stop complimenting her. The sudden makeup, the extra selfies, the tension that appears out of nowhere. Those moments aren't random, they're defense mechanisms. She's asking one silent question: do I still have power over you? But she'll never say that out loud, because admitting it feels like weakness. Let's take a real example. James, 54, had been dating Rebecca, 48, for nearly a year. She was fun, confident, sharp. But something shifted when his attention waned. He wasn't pulling away, he was just busy with work, hobbies, and his son. But to her, that silence screamed rejection. Suddenly she was moody, distant, and snapping over tiny things. When James asked what was wrong, she said, "You don't see me anymore." That's the moment the invisible fear surfaced. Most men would take that personally. They'd try to fix it with reassurance, compliments, affection, long talks. But that doesn't work, because her fear isn't logical. It's emotional. It's about relevance. Society teaches women that their worth is tied to how much attention they receive. So when the spotlight fades even slightly, the subconscious panic begins. The more she feels unseen, the more she tries to prove her value, sometimes by creating conflict just to feel a response. And the tragedy, the harder she fights for attention, the faster attraction dies. The energy turns anxious, not magnetic. This is where a Stoic man stands apart. He doesn't mirror her panic. He doesn't argue or chase. He observes the emotion but doesn't get lost in it. Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." When she feels unseen, your reaction defines the outcome. If you lose your calm, you confirm her fear. If you stay grounded, you dissolve it. James learned this. He stopped defending himself. He gave space, but stayed steady, warm, calm, focused on his mission. A week later, Rebecca's energy changed. The distance disappeared. Why? Because his composure reminded her that nothing was lost. He became her emotional anchor, the calm in her storm. That's the paradox of attraction. The more you try to reassure, the weaker you look. But the more centered you are, the safer she feels. You don't fix her emotions with words, you stabilize them with presence. So next time you feel her mood shift, don't explain, don't chase, don't overreact. Hold your frame. Let silence prove your steadiness. If you recognize this pattern, the sudden distance, the silent tests, comment below, "I hold the frame." Because the man who stays solid when she wavers becomes unforgettable. Stay tuned. Next, we'll reveal what women truly dread losing and why understanding it gives you quiet control over every interaction. Number 2. What women really dread losing. Every woman fears losing something, but it's not what most men think. It's not love. It's not attention. It's admiration. That deep sense of being desired, respected, and chosen above others. When admiration fades, everything else starts to collapse. The relationship becomes heavy, her energy changes, and you start to feel distance without understanding why. You see, for men, love and respect often stand apart. You can love someone without admiring them, but for women, love needs admiration to survive. The moment she stops looking up to you, not because of status, but because of energy, attraction begins to die. It's not that she stops caring, it's that she can no longer feel polarity. This fear of losing admiration lives under the surface of every test, every argument, every emotional swing. When she challenges you, she's not trying to start a fight. She's checking if you're still the man she can admire. She wants to feel your strength without you needing to prove it. If you break, argue, or beg, that spark dies. The Stoics understood this instinct long before psychology had words for it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one, that's the key." You don't talk about being strong, wise, or calm. You embody it. Because when a woman feels your steadiness, her subconscious relaxes. The admiration returns. Here's the paradox. The very thing she dreads, losing admiration, is something you can't give her directly. You create it by who you are when she watches. The way you handle silence, the way you respond under pressure, the way you move through life without needing her approval, that's what draws her back in. When a woman senses that your value doesn't depend on her mood, she feels both safe and excited. Safe because she can trust your frame. Excited because she can't fully control it. That's the tension attraction thrives on. But when you give up your focus to chase reassurance, she no longer sees a leader, she sees another follower. The Stoic path in relationships isn't cold detachment. It's controlled warmth. It's standing firm in your principles while staying open in your presence. You don't punish distance, you observe it. You don't rush to fix emotion, you let it pass. That quiet strength triggers the one thing women crave, but rarely admit the desire to respect again. You want to know why so many men lose that dynamic? Because they start living in reaction. They trade purpose for peace. They think avoiding tension means harmony, but avoidance kills attraction faster than arguments ever could. The man who avoids conflict to keep her happy ends up losing the very admiration he's trying to protect. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." And bravery in this context is the courage to lead not through dominance but through direction. You decide the rhythm of your life. You hold to your values even when she tests them. That's what keeps admiration alive long after passion fades. So if you ever sense the distance, the sighs, the cold replies, the emotional walls, don't panic, don't explain. Simply remember, she's not angry, she's scared. Scared that the man she admired is slipping away. Your job is to prove through silence and stability that he's still right there. When you live that truth, admiration never leaves, it deepens. If this resonates, type it below as a reminder. I lead with calm, because when admiration fades, chaos begins. But when calm leads, desire always returns. Number 3. The hidden clock inside every woman. Every woman lives with a clock she can't see but can always feel. It doesn't tick on the wall, it ticks inside her. It's the quiet pressure that reminds her that time is moving, beauty is changing, and options are shifting. Most men never notice it, but that clock controls more female behavior than almost anything else. For men, time often builds value. Experience, stability, wisdom, they all compound. But for women, society ties value to visibility, youth, and desirability. The moment that attention starts to fade even slightly, the clock gets louder. It whispers, "You're running out of time." Let me give you a real example. Tom, 55, recently divorced, started seeing Laura, 51. She was confident, charming, and had her life together. But after a few months, Tom noticed something shift. She started comparing herself to younger women, checking social media more often, and asking subtle questions like, "Would you ever date someone younger?" He brushed it off, thinking she was joking. But she wasn't. That was the clock. Laura wasn't insecure, she was aware that her ability to attract was changing. Not because she had lost her worth, but because the world treats women differently as they age. She wasn't afraid of losing Tom specifically. She was afraid of losing her options. That silent urgency can turn even calm women reactive, emotional, and unpredictable. This is the part most men misunderstand. When a woman feels time closing in, her emotions don't make sense because they aren't logical, they're biological. It's not vanity, it's survival. For thousands of years, her value in the social and biological world was tied to fertility and youth. Even in modern society, that instinct remains buried deep in her subconscious. When that internal clock starts ticking, louder women often seek reassurance without realizing it. They might post more online, test you emotionally, or chase attention from others just to confirm they're still desired. Tom used to get frustrated when Laura flirted lightly with other men. But once he understood the psychology behind it, he stopped reacting. He didn't scold or chase, he just stayed steady. And slowly, her energy softened. His composure told her, "What words never could, you're still valued and I'm not competing for control." That's the Stoic advantage, understanding without judgment. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You can't stop her from feeling time's pressure, but you can control your response to it. You don't argue with the clock, you outlast it. When you meet that fear with calm steadiness, she feels safe again. You stop being another man reacting to her emotions and become the man she can anchor to when her world feels unstable. And paradoxically, that makes you even more attractive because you're offering what time can't take away: peace. Tom once told me, "When I stopped trying to fight her insecurity, things got easier. I let her have her moments, but I never lost my balance." That's what real masculine presence looks like: grounded, patient, unshaken. Every woman's clock ticks differently, but it's always there, whispering that beauty fades, options shrink, and admiration is temporary. Your job isn't to silence that clock, it's to stay calm enough that she forgets it's ticking. If you've ever watched a woman change as the years pass, more guarded, more reactive, more restless, now you know what's really happening. And the man who understands that without judgment becomes timeless himself. If that truth hit you today, drop it in the comments. I stay timeless. Because when you master patience, you stop racing her clock and she starts following your rhythm instead. Number 4, the game of visibility. In today's world, visibility is currency. For women, it's more than attention, it's survival in the social economy. The more visible she feels, the more secure she becomes. But when that spotlight dims, even slightly, panic sets in. You can see it everywhere, in social media feeds, in subtle competition, in the quiet anxiety behind, "Do you still find me attractive?" This is the game of visibility. And whether you realize it or not, you're playing it with her. From childhood, women are conditioned to equate visibility with worth. Compliments, approval, admiration. These become her metrics for safety. And while men gain respect through achievement or strength, women often receive it through attention. When that attention fades, the subconscious fear of irrelevance takes over. She starts adjusting behavior to stay seen, changing her appearance, testing your focus, or seeking validation from strangers. It's not vanity, it's reinforcement of existence. The Stoics understood this phenomenon long before Instagram ever existed. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions." He wasn't describing social media, he was describing human nature. The desire to be seen is universal, but for women it's amplified by biology and culture. That's why the digital age magnifies their anxiety. Every scroll becomes a mirror, every post a test. Am I still relevant? Here's where most men fail. They mock or shame this need for attention. They call it insecurity or manipulation. But a Stoic man doesn't judge human nature, he studies it. When you understand her drive for visibility, you stop reacting emotionally. You don't punish her for playing the game, you simply don't play it back. You provide something the online world can't: calm, real presence and focus that doesn't fluctuate with the crowd. When you stop competing for her attention, you become the anchor in her storm of validation. Your steadiness tells her, you don't need to fight for my eyes, you already have them. But if you start chasing her through the same game, checking her likes, asking why she posted, comparing yourself, you lose instantly. The game isn't about who wins, it's about who stays still. Remember what Seneca said, he who is brave is free. Freedom, in this case, means refusing to be enslaved by the noise of attention. You can't stop her from craving visibility, but you can show through composure that your worth doesn't depend on it. When she senses that your peace doesn't break under her fluctuations, she finds what she didn't know: she was looking for safety in your presence. The game of visibility is real, but it's not your enemy. It's an invitation to be the one man who doesn't need to be seen to feel strong. You lead not by chasing light, but by standing firm in the dark. And if you want to master this mindset beyond theory, to learn how to lead calmly, stay grounded through her emotional waves and project quiet authority, no matter the situation, join the Stoic Brotherhood membership. Inside you'll find exclusive lessons, weekly discussions, and mindset training that help you embody everything we talk about here. It's not about learning philosophy, it's about living it. So next time you feel the pull to argue, to check, or to compete for attention, stop. Step back. Remember, you win the game by not playing it. Write in the comments, I see through the game. Because a man who sees clearly never needs to compete. Stay tuned. What's coming next will flip your perspective on validation forever. Number 5. When validation becomes survival. At first, validation feels innocent. A compliment here, a smile there, a quick reassurance that everything's okay. But over time, for some women, validation stops being a want and turns into a need. It becomes oxygen, and when it's missing, panic begins. This is the moment when validation becomes survival. You've probably seen this without realizing it. The constant need for reassurance, the emotional swings, the sudden distance when attention fades, all of it comes from the same source: fear of irrelevance. When a woman feels unseen or unappreciated, her mind goes into overdrive, trying to recreate that sense of being desired. Let's make this real. Brian, 50, had been dating Lisa, 47, for about 8 months. She was warm, playful, and deeply connected, until one week she began to shift. Suddenly, every conversation turned into a test. Do you still find me attractive? You didn't like my post. You've been quiet lately. Is something wrong? At first, Brian thought she was just being sensitive. But what was really happening was deeper. Lisa wasn't chasing compliments. She was chasing certainty. Her sense of worth had become so tied to being desired that every silence felt like rejection. The more validation she needed, the less grounded she became. And the more she demanded, the less Brian wanted to give. This spiral is toxic, not because women are weak, but because they've been conditioned that visibility equals safety. Society rewards their appearance more than their wisdom. And when that reward begins to fade, many feel they're disappearing. The mind in survival mode starts reaching for anything that confirms existence, even drama. That's when you'll see the cycle: emotional testing, withdrawal outbursts, even attraction to chaos, anything to feel. It's not about manipulation, it's about control. When a woman feels her validation slipping away, she'll unconsciously create situations that restore emotional intensity, even if it hurts both of you. This is where most men fall apart. They get defensive, argue, or try to fix everything with logic. But logic doesn't soothe survival fear. Calm presence does. Seneca once said, "No man is free who is a slave to his emotions." The same applies here. If her need for validation controls the relationship, both of you become slaves to emotion. So what's the Stoic move? You don't chase, you don't criticize, you contain. You become the steady center in her storm. When she spirals, you don't feed the panic by over-explaining or by withdrawing completely. You simply stay grounded, consistent, and composed. Over time, that steadiness rewires the dynamic. She starts realizing that she doesn't need to create chaos to feel connection, because your calm is already giving her something real: safety. Brian learned that lesson. Instead of defending himself when Lisa got emotional, he started listening quietly. He didn't argue, didn't feed her anxiety with more words. He just stayed still, looked her in the eye, and let her emotion pass. A week later, her tone changed completely. "I don't know what it is," she said, "but I feel calmer around you now." That's the shift, when validation stops being survival and connection starts being peace. Remember, the goal isn't to fix her emotions, it's to stay unmoved by them. Because your steadiness teaches her that real value doesn't come from constant reassurance, it comes from stability. If this feels familiar, drop it in the comments. I move with purpose. Because a man with purpose doesn't react to emotion, he directs it. Stay tuned. The next part will expose the hidden power struggle behind these emotional tests and how to win it without ever raising your voice. Number 6. The power struggle you don't see. Every relationship has one silent question beneath the surface. Who leads the emotional rhythm here? Most men don't notice it, but every interaction is a quiet tug-of-war for influence. And it's not about control or dominance, it's about who maintains composure when emotion rises. That's the power struggle you don't see. When a woman tests you, gets reactive, or pulls away, she's not trying to destroy the connection, she's checking for stability. She wants to know if you can hold the emotional frame when hers collapses. She wants to feel that she can let go without the whole thing falling apart. If you can't, she instinctively loses trust, even if she still loves you. Here's what most men get wrong. They confuse emotional leadership with control. They think holding frame means staying cold, detached, or dominant. But true power isn't about force, it's about gravity. It's quiet, steady, and effortless. A Stoic doesn't demand control, he commands it by mastering himself first. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That single truth is the foundation of masculine influence. You can't control her moods, her tone, or her emotions, but you can control your reaction. And that control determines whether you lose your authority or deepen her respect. Think about it. When she throws emotional energy your way, anger, sarcasm, silence, what she's really doing is measuring your gravity. If you push back or over-explain, she feels your center shake. But if you stay composed, calm, grounded, you become the anchor she subconsciously craves. You're not resisting her. You're absorbing chaos without being altered by it. This isn't manipulation. It's emotional leadership. It's what the Stoics called ataraxia, unshakable calm. And women are naturally drawn to it because it communicates safety, strength, and depth without a single word. In every relationship, there's a test you never see coming, not because she hates you, but because her emotions need to know they can trust you. When she challenges you, complains, or withdraws, she's saying, "Can you handle me when I'm not easy?" The weak man reacts. The grounded man remains still. That stillness is the answer she's looking for. But here's the twist. This power struggle doesn't end when you win. It evolves. The moment you prove your composure, she relaxes, but she'll test again later, not to destroy you, but to make sure you're real. You don't need to fear that cycle. You just need to stop feeding it with emotion. Every time you hold steady, her respect grows and the tests get shorter. Epictetus said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them." If you see her emotions as attacks, you'll fight back. If you see them as tests, you'll stay calm. And when you stay calm, you win the only game that matters, the battle for presence. The man who masters this becomes untouchable. He doesn't chase approval, doesn't fear withdrawal, doesn't argue for peace. His calm becomes contagious. That's the kind of presence that redefines power, not by words, but by how silent you can remain when emotion tries to pull you off balance. Remember this, she's not looking for perfection, she's looking for gravity. Your strength isn't proven in the easy moments, it's revealed in the storms. If that truth hit you, type this in the comments: I master my peace. Because when you lead with calm, no one can take your power, not even emotion itself. Number 7. Contain the storm, don't fight it. There comes a moment in every relationship when emotions explode, sometimes out of nowhere. You're calm one second and the next, she's upset, crying, or throwing verbal lightning bolts. Most men panic at that moment. They rush to explain, defend, or argue back. But here's the truth: the moment you fight her storm, you lose control. The only way to win is to contain it, not combat it. Emotional storms in women aren't random. They're a build-up of pressure, insecurities, exhaustion, fears, all compressed until something small triggers release. You may think she's angry about what you said, but often she's reacting to what she felt. And once that storm begins, logic can't stop it. Only presence can. Let's make this real. Daniel, 56, had been with Emily, 51, for 2 years. She was warm, caring, and fun until stress hit. One night, Emily snapped over something small. "You never listen," she shouted. Daniel, caught off guard, tried to explain that he was just tired. That made it worse. The more he defended himself, the louder she got. He felt attacked and pushed back harder. Within minutes, what began as a small misunderstanding turned into emotional chaos. But then Daniel remembered something he'd once heard: don't meet emotion with emotion. So he stopped talking. He took a slow breath. When Emily paused, expecting another argument, he didn't react. He just said quietly, "I hear you." Then he let the silence sit. That pause, that control, shifted everything. She went from shouting to crying, and then minutes later she calmed. That's what it means to contain the storm. You don't let it pull you into chaos. You stay grounded until the energy burns out. A woman's emotions are like waves. They rise, crash, and fade. Your job isn't to fight the water. It's to be the rock beneath it. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Emotional mastery isn't instant either. It's built through practice. You train it in those exact moments when your ego wants to fight back. The Stoic man doesn't avoid conflict, but he refuses to be controlled by it. He listens without absorbing, speaks without over-explaining, and acts without losing composure. You have to understand this. When she's emotional, she's not testing your logic, she's testing your capacity. She wants to feel your emotional gravity, not your argument. If you mirror her energy, you dissolve polarity. But if you remain calm, you become the grounding force she subconsciously craves. That's what creates attraction, even in conflict, steadiness amid chaos. Daniel learned that. The next time Emily got upset, he didn't fix or flee. He stood still, looked her in the eyes, and said softly, "I'm not going anywhere." That one sentence, calm, simple, steady, turned the storm into quiet. Not because he dominated her emotions, but because he refused to drown in them. Containment doesn't mean coldness. It means strength wrapped in empathy. It's saying, "I understand, but I won't lose myself." And when you can do that, her respect grows in silence. Because deep down, every woman wants a man who doesn't crumble under her chaos, not to control her, but to give her peace through his presence. So next time emotion hits, Don't fight it, don't flee, and don't lecture. Just breathe, hold your ground and let the wave crash. When it passes, you'll still be standing, and that's when she'll finally see your power. If you've ever been caught in that storm and stayed calm, type it below, I build strength daily. Because calm isn't weakness, it's control. And in her storm, that's what she's secretly searching for. Number 8. The calm that breaks her defense. Every strong woman has a wall. It's not built from pride or arrogance, it's made from years of disappointment, fear, and lessons learned the hard way. She's been let down, misled, or misunderstood, and so she builds a defense control. But here's the paradox. The stronger her guard, the more she craves a man calm enough to dissolve it without a single argument. That's what true power feels like, the calm that breaks her defense. Most men try to break through those walls with force, more attention, more compliments, more persistence. But the more you push, the higher her walls get. What she's really testing is not your passion, but your peace. Can you stay centered even when she resists connection? Can you stay warm without chasing, composed without withdrawing? That's the tension that draws her in. You see, when a woman senses calm energy, real calm, not silence filled with resentment, it does something inside her. It bypasses her intellect and goes straight to her nervous system. It tells her she's safe even if she doesn't want to be. It disarms the defenses that words can't touch. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In relationships, that means this: don't mirror her tension, don't match her fear, and don't return her distance. When she pushes you, stay grounded. When she doubts, you stay sure. When she guards her emotions, you don't try to pry them open. You let silence and consistency do the work. The Stoics believed that calmness was not weakness but control mastered at the highest level. They called it euthymia, a state of inner stillness, where nothing external disturbs your peace. When you embody that state, it's not just visible, it's felt. She'll sense it in the way you breathe, in the way you move, in the way you don't rush to fill every silence. And here's what most men never realize: emotional calm is magnetic. It's mysterious, even sensual, because it's rare. When every other man reacts, your stillness becomes a mirror that makes her reflect on herself. That's when her guard starts to crumble, not because she chose to lower it, but because she can't sustain it around that much grounded energy. You don't need to convince her of anything. You don't need to win debates or prove you care. You just need to embody what Epictetus taught. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. If you refuse to be provoked, you become the master of every interaction. You shift the dynamic from chaos to control, from tension to trust. This kind of calm doesn't beg for closeness, it invites it. When she feels your emotional steadiness, she begins to relax into her feminine side. The control fades, the walls soften, and connection flows naturally. She doesn't feel dominated, she feels free. That's the secret. The calm man doesn't chase walls, he lets them fall on their own. He knows that the energy he brings to every moment defines how she responds. And when you can remain still in the face of resistance, you become the rare presence she can't forget. Because in a world of loud men trying to prove themselves, the quiet man who radiates peace becomes unforgettable. So if you've ever chosen calm over chaos and watched everything shift, type it below, I read the signs. Because peace isn't passive, it's power in its purest form. Number 9. What makes her respect you again? Respect is the oxygen of attraction. Once it's gone, everything else, chemistry, love, connection, starts to suffocate. But here's the truth. Most men never face, women don't lose respect suddenly. It fades slowly, one moment of weakness, at a time when you apologize too much, when you react emotionally, when you stop standing for something. The good news, you can earn it back, but not with words, with behavior. When a woman loses respect, she doesn't hate you, she just stops feeling safe in your strength. She can't admire what bends too easily, And that's when she starts to test, to pull away, or to say, "I just need space." What she really means is, "I need to see if you can hold your ground again. Let's make this real." Michael, 58, was married to Karen, 55, for over 20 years. They'd been through everything: kids, career changes, financial stress. But somewhere along the way, Karen stopped looking at him the same. He noticed it in her tone, her posture, the quiet sighs at dinner. When he asked what was wrong, she said, "You used to be stronger." Those words hit him like a punch. Michael realized he'd spent years trying to avoid conflict, saying yes to everything, walking on eggshells to keep peace. But the more he tried to please, the less she respected him. So he decided to shift. He started setting quiet boundaries, not loud ultimatums, just clear actions. He said no when things didn't align. He began focusing on his fitness, his hobbies, his purpose again. He stopped explaining himself and started leading again. At first, Karen resisted. She pushed, argued, even accused him of being distant. But Michael didn't waver. He stayed calm, kind, and firm. 2 months later, something changed. One evening she said, "You've been different lately, in a good way." That's when he knew respect had returned. That's the key. Respect doesn't come from dominance, it comes from discipline. A Stoic man earns it not by demanding it, but by embodying it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." You don't regain respect through speeches, you regain it through action, repeated long enough for her to feel your gravity again. When you stop reacting and start deciding, she feels it. When you stop chasing peace and start creating it, she notices. Respect is emotional security, the quiet confidence that you won't crumble under pressure. And here's the paradox. Once a woman respects you again, attraction follows naturally. Because respect is the foundation of desire. Without it, everything feels forced. With it, everything flows. Michael didn't win her back by trying harder, he won her back by standing still. By remembering that calm conviction is stronger than constant compromise. If you've lost respect in your relationship, don't beg to get it back. Rebuild it through your habits, your tone, your rhythm. Be consistent. Be patient. Be grounded. Because when you move from apology to authority, everything changes: how she looks at you, how she talks to you, even how she feels around you. She starts to admire you again, not because of what you said, but because of what you became. If this story sounds familiar, comment below. I stay composed. Because respect doesn't return to the loudest man in the room, it returns to the calmest. Stay tuned. The final part will show you how to stay desired once you've earned that respect back. Number 10. The Stoic way to stay desired. Desire fades for one simple reason: familiarity without admiration. You can be the man she once craved, the man she once couldn't stop thinking about, and still lose that spark if your energy shifts from grounded to complacent. The truth is, attraction isn't maintained by gifts, words, or promises. It's maintained by presence, direction, and restraint, the quiet traits that define the Stoic way. The modern world teaches men to chase validation through effort, more attention, more affection, more trying. But effort without strength feels needy, and neediness always kills desire. The Stoic man understands something most never learn: attraction is sustained not by how much you give, but by how much you hold back. You don't prove value, you embody it. You let your silence and discipline speak. The foundation of staying desired is self-command. When you control your impulses, you project mastery. When you chase nothing, everything starts to chase you. Stoicism isn't about being cold, it's about being unshakable. A woman desires what she can't completely predict. She may love safety, but she's drawn to mystery. And mystery isn't a game, it's self-control. Epictetus wrote, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." The man who practices that wins, not just peace, but presence. When you stop trying to control her feelings or her choices, you become the rare man who truly feels free. And freedom is irresistible. It's what makes her lean in. So what does this look like in real life? It looks like calm when others panic. It looks like you not explaining every decision, not reacting to every mood. Swing, not chasing when distance appears. It's living your purpose so consistently that she can feel your direction even in silence. You see, desire is sustained through polarity, masculine energy that leads with clarity and purpose, and feminine energy that follows curiosity. When you lose your mission, polarity collapses. But when you live in purpose, her desire stays alive because you represent something larger than comfort. You represent movement. The Stoic man doesn't beg to be desired. He lives in a way that makes desire inevitable. He rises early, keeps his body disciplined, his mind sharp, and his emotions contained. He speaks less, but with weight. He laughs easily, but never out of nervousness. He can look at a woman with depth, not to win her, but to see her. That energy, calm, confident, unattached, is magnetic. And here's the paradox that keeps attraction alive. When you stop seeking to be desired, you become it. Because every ounce of energy that used to chase now radiates self-assurance. You no longer need validation, and that's when she starts craving yours. A Stoic man doesn't demand attention. He earns admiration through composure. He doesn't need to prove power. He lives it through consistency. He doesn't avoid emotion. He guides it through presence. This balance between restraint and confidence is what makes him unforgettable. So, if you want to stay desired, stop chasing outcomes and start mastering yourself. Learn to pause before reacting. Build habits that feed strength, not dependency. Speak less, observe more, move with purpose. Let every action say, "I know who I am." Because desire doesn't belong to the loudest or the richest, it belongs to the man whose calm makes everyone else question their own. That's the Stoic way: stillness that commands attention, strength that never needs to shout, and peace so deep that it becomes its own form of attraction. What you just learned isn't about tricks, mind games, or manipulation. It's about understanding human nature, the psychology that drives attraction, fear, and respect. When you live with Stoic calm, you stop reacting to emotion and start leading with presence. You become the man who doesn't chase approval because his power speaks through silence. If you're ready to master this mindset on a deeper level, to build discipline, emotional strength, and unshakable confidence, join the Stoic Brotherhood membership. Inside, you'll get exclusive lessons, weekly mindset training, and tools that help you apply Stoic principles in your relationships, your work, and your daily life. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next video designed to sharpen your presence and strengthen your frame. Thanks for watching. Stay calm, stay grounded, and I'll see you tomorrow.